So now we on part 4. Okay. So the fact of the matter is, I'm not just any fly by night type person. I'm being vulnerable for a reason, because my story needs to touch someone. It needs to touch someone, because there's somebody out there, and between the ages of 18 and 45, okay, it could be male or female. But I know that the message that I have has to be shared, because that's what the Most High told me to do. So just stick around. I ain't done yet. Okay? Because this is the thing that makes it all worth it. I come from a background of women that are strong. They are spiritual as well. And I didn't know I had the amount of power that I have, that was generationally sent through traumatic experiences, emotional trauma, mental trauma. You talk about unresolved issues that I didn't even know I had, that wasn't even my business. It was just sent to me. And that my job, unbeknownst to me, was to actually fix it by the choices that I made. So when I decided to go and use drugs, to the point where I was suicidal, to the point where I ended up hitting a rock bottom at 14 and going into recovery at 14. Yeah, that's how I began my light work and didn't even know it. Didn't even know it. Okay, that was when I was starting to ascend. Way back then. And when I say way back then, I'm 47 now. I done had 3 kids, done had 4 marriages, done been bankrupt 4 times, all kind of stuff, because I made decisions along the way that I thought was what I needed to do according to what society told me to do, but that's not what the Most High told me to do. This is what happens when you go ahead and you think you can ignore your abilities. You put yourself through extra trauma. And then the reason why I can say that, like Lauryn Hill said, is because I went through it. You know, until I learned how to embrace knowledge of self and then be appreciative of the process of becoming the person that I was meant to be, to walk in the light that I'm supposed to be in, not what somebody said I was supposed to be in. Okay, and you ain't got to read no book, but it's good to get information. So being open-minded and honest with myself is very, very, very much a part of my story. Okay, I went to college. I did all of that stuff. But the growth process, the stuff that I needed to acquire in order to become strong enough to speak to you in this moment, meaning that I had to sit with some stuff. That means I had to deal with some stuff, some trauma that was deep embedded in me. And when it came up, it hurt and hurt and hurt. And I kept going into things like fetal positions, crying, holding myself tight at night, because you don't want nobody touching you when you're going through all that. Yeah. Dealing with those times in which I thought promiscuity was my answer. Because, see, I didn't want to feel the pain. I didn't want to deal with the consequences. I wanted to avoid at all costs. And what ended up happening is I just wore myself the hell out. I had to hit the bottom with promiscuity. Oh, yeah. Let me explain to you what that means. Sitting in the doctor's office all by yourself, knowing you wasn't the only one that did the horizontal, whatchamacall in the middle of the night, but you in there by yourself, and then the doctor asks you, so how many partners have you had? When the children talk about what the body count is, and you can't remember. I ain't said remember, I said member. And then you feeling ashamed. And you got to sit with it and learn that you are worth more. This is part 4. We're going to part 5.